Welcome to Dark Secrets of Hobart Town Hall, circa 1864 to 1866. I'm Ron Christie, Deputy Lord Mayor of Hobart. Let's go inside and take a look. Okay, we're going to go into the chamber, as I mentioned right now. The chamber was the first public library in Tasmania. Is this door open? Ah, we're lucky. This way, Alex. #1 cameraman in Tasmania. Turn this on. Right, here's all the aldermen. It goes back to 1853. 1853, that's the first one up there, the Alderman of Hobart. And this board over here keeps going and comes up to the last election we had was 2011. Where's the name? There he is. RG. There he is. That's him, Alex. Young lad he is too. So let's go into the chamber. Here's these big doors again. I'll just open this one, mate. Whoops. Let's turn the lights on. Now the lights, because we've got this environmentally friendly light, energy saving lights, are going to take a while to come on. And here we are. This is the chamber. This is where we do all the debating. Debating, arguing. There's a lot of love in this room, isn't there? But we meet here twice a month, and this chamber was, as I mentioned, the first public library. Now, the first public library in 1866, it was like going to gold class cinema, because when they found out a boat was in the river, 22 kilometres to the mouth of the river, so there was an amazing semaphore system. The semaphore system would send signals up within 7 or 8 minutes, you know, from down the mouth right up here, saying, oh, there's a couple of boats in the channel on their way up here, laden with books and newspapers. So the public, all the citizens would come here to the public library. You weren't allowed to take the books home, no, because, you know, they're scarce as hen's teeth. You had to leave the books here and take them next door into 2 reading rooms, which I'll show you very shortly, and which is now the Aldermans Lounge, back in those days the old smoking lounge, but originally it was 2 reading rooms. So the boats would come up the river, just outside that river, outside that window. They would berth there. Don't forget that's all reclaimed land out there, just south of Davey Street. That's all reclaimed land. The water used to come right up to the edge there. Boats would come in there. People would line up. They'd be coming up here to the library. All the books and newspapers would come up, and they'd catch up with the news. Well, what was happening back home in the mother country. Well, of course, the news was 18 months old, wasn't it? So it was current for them, but a lot different for us today. Then they found out there's a good place called the Carnegie Building, which is next door to this one. That's what they use for the library. They moved the library from here to the Carnegie Building, which is now the Maritime Museum. This then became the chamber, based on the chamber in London. And that chair up there, the Lord Mayor's chair, that's the original chair. And you might remember earlier on in our little Dark Secrets of Hobart Town Hall, in one of the segments I mentioned the motto or the coat of arms. And here it is on the chair here, the original coat of arms. And you'll notice that the Forester kangaroo, these were the first 2 animals, native animals that they found here, the emu, which no longer exists in Tasmania because they ate it out. They ate it. They ate their coat of arms and the Forester kangaroo. But look how both heads are looking in. Now, Alex, if we pan up to the roof here, you'll see the new coat of arms, right? 100 years later, they changed it because the original looked too much like the Australian coat of arms. See how the Forester kangaroo and the emu are looking outwards. You see, it wasn't official until that one up the top there. And that sign down the bottom says Sic Fortius Hobartia Crevet, Latin for in strength does Hobart grow. And grow it did. You know, we had 2 convicts on council. 2 convicts became aldermen. And they sat in this room. Now, where's my file, Alex? I'll just come with me. We'll come for a walk around here. We have 12 aldermen sitting around here, like they did in the old days. and I'll show you exactly. We've replicated this room to what it actually looked like back in those old days, okay? Now, I've got a photo here, Alex. Here it is. Look at this. Pan up on that. Now, there it is. Look at that in 1907. 1907. And then the one down below it, I think, is in 1950. So you can see the difference. But look at it today. We've nearly duplicated it to what it originally looked like. So this is the chamber. This is where we do all the debating. We're all mates here twice a month. This table here, this is the horseshoe. This is the horseshoe worked on the English system. Nothing's changed. We all just sit round here, and there's a pecking order. You know, the longer you've been here, you move up closer and closer to the Lord Mayor's chair. Anyone can become an alderman. Now here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've got the 6 directors. These are the men and women, the important ones. They're more important than us because these people, you've got the director of planning or development, you've got the director of infrastructure, the director of community services, the director of finance. They all sit here on council meetings, and when we're up standing around debating, if we're not quite sure what we're talking about, we can refer to these people and they give us the answers. They tell us exactly what we need to know. Up the back, that's where the galleries sit. And anyone can come in here during an open council meeting. We have 2 meetings, an open council meeting and a closed council meeting. Closed council meetings is where the public are not allowed in because we might be talking about an individual or we might be discussing finance, tenders and things like that. Right, let's go in and I'll show you now where the 2 reading rooms were, which is now the Aldermans Lounge. The public don't normally come in here. Turn the lights as you... Whoops, Alex, turn the lights off as you come out, mate. I know you've got your hands full, but I'll turn the lights off here. There we go. And let's go in here. Whoops, it's locked. I hope no one's in here at this unearthly hour of the evening. Hello? Everybody dressed? Yes, everything's fine. So this is the Aldermans Lounge. Normally it used to be as the old smoking lounge. The public don't normally see this, but this was 2 reading rooms. So you'd get your books from newspapers, from the library, the public library. There was a wall down here with a doorway in between, and you'd have all these old desks and chairs, just like a school, in a school classroom. You'd sit at the desk and you'd read your newspaper and you'd read your book, then you'd return it back to the library. Well, when the public library was moved to the Carnegie Hall, Carnegie building next door, then this became the Aldermans Smoking Lounge. And can you imagine? They used to have their drinks. Now, you do have a few perks as a politician. You only get an allowance, you don't get paid a salary, but you do have a couple of perks. You're allowed to have a little drink, or you might have a sweet tooth, so you can have a chocolate, all right? So you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. But back in the old days, they used to have dinner and they'd have a cigar and a port, and they'd have a drink before their meeting. So they'd go into the chamber and half of them, if they weren't arguing, they'd fall asleep. Times have changed. Now you have a drink if you want one and dinner after you've done all the debating, after the business has been done. Now what haven't we seen, Alex? So what have we haven't been up onto the roof, have we? More dark secrets of Hobart Town Hall coming your way in just a moment. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to Dark Secrets of the Hobart Town Hall. We are now in the Aldermans Office area. Every alderman has an office. So, but over here, this is interesting, we've got this old safe. This is where back in the old days, we've got a couple of these throughout the building. We used to be able to get in there, very heavy door, and they store private records in there now, right? But yeah, they're all that size, quite amazing. And there's about 3 or 4 of those safes throughout the building. But as we make our way up to the roof, look at these books, aren't they amazing? These are Gazettes, the Tasmania Gazette that goes back. Oh, good. They're not that old. These ones are in the 1900s. But before the Tasmanian Gazette was the Hobart Gazette. Just come down this way. You'll see my office is just here, Alex. See that? Lovely office. I won't show you. It's a bit messy. But then we go back before the Tasmanian Gazette to the Hobart Gazette. Look at this. Now, I should have my white gloves on. Isn't this amazing? Now, look, I'll grab one of these. So with the Tasmania Gazette, but come down here and just have a look at this, past my office. I won't take you in there, it's a little bit messy in there today. But this is the Hobart Town Gazette. Now this is amazing. Look, this goes back, and I've grabbed one of the books, and I should have my white gloves on. Goodness, for historians, please forgive me. 1834, and this is 30 years before the town, 33 years before the town hall was 1833. Now look at this. Where can we put it, Alex? Can we come down here? Can we come down here? Oh, just down here. On the floor. Goodness me. Because I'm holding the microphone here. Look at this. Isn't this magnificent? 1833. Friday, January the 4th, the Hobart Town Gazette. Have a look at some of the... Hold on, let's have a look. This has got all the news. There it is, look, Hobart Town Gazette. Unbelievable. What's that, January? And this tells you all about the convicts and what William Barnes and what they owe their rates that they paid and things like that. Just absolutely fascinating stories. You could sit here for days just reading it all. So, October the 11th, 1833. There, it looks like a court case, or I don't know, what does that say? His Excellency, Governor George. So, absolute history, all written down in perfect condition, all under lock and key here at the Hobart Town Hall. Let's put that back up in a safe place. Now, let's go outside. Let's go rug up. Where did I put my coat? We're having air conditioning, finally, after all these years. Since 1866, we're finally getting air conditioning in the place. Oh, it's been some cold years. Anyway, we go up these stairs. Have a look at this. This is where the carpet runs out, all right? Up the stairs we go. Now, we don't operate. It hasn't operated here for years. Oh, I should have brought my torch. Where's my torch, Alex? Oh, I haven't got it. Maybe the lights will come on. Here we go. Now we're back to wooden floor. As we go up there. This is what scares me a bit about those ghosts that you were talking about. There's been some weird noises in this place after midnight, believe me. We are climbing right up into the bowels of the town hall. This never gets used. But back in the 40s and the 50s, look at these old firewalls. Back in the 40s and 50s, they used to do their own... What's in this room? Oh, look at this. Ooh, this is what they call a photograph? Alex, a photographic processing film. Ilford, remember Ilford? Processing film. They used to do all that here back in the early days. Right, then we go, shut that door. Just have to see which way this one goes. None of this gets used anymore because the workplaces, one day they might restore it all. All this, we're right up really high now. Come out here, this way and we'll go. These lights might come on. Oh yes, good, they still work. We'll go out here. And voila, look at this. Be careful the step there, Alex. This is... Follow me, mate. I'll pick up the cord here. A little bit cold. This takes us out. Looking down. Can you imagine back in the old days, they'd stand up here, hoist the flags as the boats came up the river, the ships. So we're outside now, on top of the town hall, looking down the Derwent. Of course, that monstrosity of Marine Board building with those coat hangers on top weren't there originally, but they'd stand up here and they'd look at the ships coming up the river to the Bond store, and over there you can see Hunter Street. That's where Hunter Island was, right? Hunter Island there, and just to the left is where they first landed. Oh, you got to love Hobart. It's got an amazing history. And then we go around to the front. We won't go around there, it's a little bit unsafe, but you go around there to the front of the town hall, Macquarie Street. Absolutely, mate. Have a look over the edge here, mate. I'll hold you. You just climb up there and I'll hold you. Trust me, Alex. There's the museum. Look at that. Isn't Hobart beautiful at night? You can see the bridge over there in the background. So there you have it, guys. Dark Secrets of Hobart Town Hall, 1864 to 1866. See you next time.